Hello, I'm Carl Stabe, and today I have Dr. Michael Daniels. He's the president of We Treat Feet Podiatry. Thank you for being here. What's your 5 minute system?
So my 5 minute system revolves around how I discuss things with staff. At the end of the day, I'm, the final decision maker. I'm the top of the totem pole. So I have to be very, very careful about how I discuss things. So I tell my physicians when I hire them that I really only discuss three different aspects with them. Number one is if they want to stop in and have a chat, my door is always open. I'm happy to sit there and talk. Number two is if we're in a physician meeting and we're discussing business or patient care or those sort of things. Or number three, if there's a problem I have to address with them. As an employer, I'm very cautious to not try to ask questions about things that are unwork related. There's all kinds of employment law issues. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't want to run afoul of any of them. So I find that very, very difficult. So trying to separate myself from personal, and as I, think of leaving home at home and work at work, that's how I kind of try to keep the train moving forward. I
Hmm.
try not to get involved in those interpersonal squabbles or conflicts that I think screw businesses up. And that's really my system for trying to manage my practice.
I find that interesting. You're right, because I think we have there's different laws. You're a doctor, and there's a lot different than if you're, um, a maid cleaning company or a software company, whatever it is, right? And you have to be able to um, put things in place that help you and the staff. And I think that's important to realize, like, you can't be all things to all people. And sometimes building in systems to protect yourself is so important and to protect your sanity because you can't do all the things and you have to make sure you're doing it in a way that is best for you, but also your employees.
And I try. It's one of the more difficult things that I deal with because I think the system lends itself to people thinking that I don't care, which is
Mm,
not true at all. I do care, but I'm very firm in what isn't my business. I don't want to discuss. So,
mm,
I don't want to discuss if, somebody got dumped by their girlfriend, or I don't want to discuss. We had a doctor once who got divorced, and we didn't find out about it until it was very late in the process. And I debated very, very hard, I guess is the way, about saying anything. And, I felt like I needed to say something. So I sent an email saying that, we're here for you if you need us. And that was the end of the email because I felt, we needed to show support. But at the end of the day, that's none of my business. It has nothing to do with work. It has nothing to do with me. This particular doctor is not my personal friend. They're a coworker. I try not to be I tend not to not try tend not to be personal friends with a lot of my coworkers for that. It's the same reason that I don't see any of my coworkers for my own personal health care. I go to a different system with people that I don't really know. I've had the same primary care physician for 25 years in a system in a hospital that I don't go to. I've
mm.
never had privileges at. And again, it's kind of compartmentalizing things, and that's kind of how I deal with it. So, convincing people of this being a respectful thing and not a lack of concern thing, I think is the most difficult thing that we have. And that's something that I've
Mm.
struggled with and have my entire career.
And what comes to mind is, yeah, kind of having a proactive way of them sending you updates. But this is what's tough, right? Because you have, you know, how many doctors do you oversee? You don't oversee the support staff, but how many doctors do you oversee?
Well, we're 10 physicians normally.
So yeah, having 10 people, and there's things you can put in place, different systems for proactive feedback. Um, but that's one thing to think about is how to get people to be able to share things, but not directly with you. So you can show support, that you can be there for them, but not get in between it and be, their therapist, because that's not where you want to go with that. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about that a whole nother time because I know we only got 2 minutes here.
I
But
I I, I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say I often joke that sometimes we treat the wrong soul.
Ah, yeah. Hmm. I can
That
see that
jokes.
because in
That's
the
that's
end,
what I am.
what is it? 70% of doctor visits due to stress or something like that. I forget something.
that I'm not aware of. That sounds more like a primary care statistic.
Well,
Uh,
what I mean by is it's we're so mental, right? Like our bodies are so connected, and you're right, like our souls, and it's like, okay, is this really a problem, or are you just needing some way to vent? And often it's venting, or it's, needing therapy of some kind.
and you have to understand also, for some of our patients who are elderly, the trip to our office is their event for the day.
Yeah.
That's really what they're looking forward to. And unfortunately, in today's society, they get 10 minutes. And there's an art form to getting in and out of a room in 10 minutes without people thinking you rushed through it. You know, I'm not, I'm like to think I'm getting better at it. Some people never get it.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and it's
Yeah.
just the reality of what it takes to keep the lights on. So,
Yeah.
sometimes people don't understand that either. But trying to listen and trying to be sympathetic and understand and solve their problems, it's a gigantic issue. Fortunately, most of our stuff is really musculoskeletal, so it's touch and feel, and things hurt or they
Mm.
don't hurt, or they move or they
Mhm.
don't move. So there's actual metrics that you can hire. It's not, whether or not they feel like they've had something. It's a yes, this hurts, or no, this no longer hurts, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I do have that kind of advantage in my daily work. But again, in dealing with my coworkers and employees, that's not the way it works. They don't have a
Yeah.
litmus test for whether or not something hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been fantastic.
Been a pleasure.